Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Welcome into the Room to Room Weather Center for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and another beautiful day across North Mississippi. Just that dominant high pressure not leaving any grace for us to keeping those dry conditions around all week long so far, and will continue into the latter part of this week as well. So how long does that dry air stick around? We're taking a look at that entire forecast over the next several days and updating you on what you need to know and why you need to keep those plants watered manually for the next several days. Better temperatures enter in by the weekend. One of the things we talked about earlier this evening at 5. We'll talk more details on that weekend forecast here in just a moment. And one of the exciting times is that month in review. We're talking rain chances as well as temperatures. Just what did we see in the month of September as we head into that new month? It's one of my exciting things to do as we track that here in the Room to Room Weather Center. So let's first focus on the here and now before we go reviewing all of that. Your September 30th, last day of September, showcasing great conditions, 82 around 7, 72 by 10, and cooling off into the mid-60s closer for your Wednesday morning. Still going to see clear skies, or at least dry skies, stick around with a cloud here and there through the overnight hours. Mississippi Live Weather Radar not showcasing any rainfall across North Mississippi, and even looping this back over the last 12 hours. You can see we haven't had anything in the form of precipitation, so we've been enjoying those dry conditions, and that'll continue to be the case heading into our Tuesday evening. For any of those Tuesday evening plans, it'll definitely be a good time, so make sure to get out there and enjoy it. Whenever we look at that accumulated rainfall, this is over the last not accumulated rainfall. This is our surface analysis. And as you can see, we're not seeing anything in the form of rainfall. Have to expand things out to really get a visual on that. And that'll be primarily along the Atlantic coast with Imelda and Umberto still circulating in the Atlantic, close enough to the United States to circle in a little bit of that moisture. As you can see right here, let me go one more scan and draw this out for you real quick. This tropical systems, of course, have that counterclockwise motion. So that's why it's kind of wrapping around in this motion and circulating in that Atlantic moisture, reaching all the way into the Carolinas, into Virginia, and that's why even some of these bands getting well inland right there, as you can see there towards Charlotte, there towards Charleston, and that's pretty much the extent of my South Carolina knowledge. So we're going to end it there. But still, you get the picture. We're scattered showers along the Carolinas, not here in North Mississippi. If we carry this out, you can see those tropical systems start to move a little bit more out there east into the Atlantic. And what we're left with here is going to be a much drier forecast. And again, tropical systems not really helping with that. But as we head overnight, that partly cloudy conditions continue to linger, trying to circulate in a bit of moisture down there towards Greenville, Eudora. But overall, those chances not very high. And if anything does verify, if anything does reach the surface, it'll be a sprinkle at most. That's 3 a.m. on your Wednesday, even into those early morning hours. This will be 6, 7 a.m. And we're just seeing those dry conditions once again for your Wednesday, starting out with another beautiful morning, and clear conditions start to move in as we head further into that morning. That sunshine burning up a little bit of that moisture and leaving us with a much more tolerable forecast. And if the conditions could get better, well, that's what will happen by mid-morning from the start of the morning. So no complaints here. Definitely excited for another day of those beautiful conditions. 65 degrees by 6, 72 by 9, 84 there around the lunch hour. And we're topping out around 89 degrees for your afternoon. The chance at a few pop-up showers possible as we get into the latter part of our Wednesday. But even those chances, 10% at best, and even that might be on the higher end of the spectrum. So that's one of the things we're tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center is going to be those dry conditions. How long do they stick around for, and what exactly that means for us here in North Mississippi? Drought monitor, of course, gets worse week by week, but just what does that mean for our forecast in its entirety? I'm talking burn bans. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60.
Up here's where your biggest risks hide: leaks, mold, and expensive damage. Most commercial roofs fail slowly until they fail big. Why rip it off when you can restore it? Our silicone coatings stop leaks, prevent mold, and extend your roof life without the high replacement cost. It's a 30-year watertight roof, energy efficient, leak-free, and half the cost of replacement. And it's backed by GE's manufacturer warranties. Facility managers love this. No disruption, no tear-off, and long-term protection for your property. Trust Absolute Restoration for your commercial roof.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, the forecast remains dry and temperatures remain above average. That's been day in and day out over the start of our work week and continues to linger for our Tuesday forecast. 84 degrees right now in the Tupelo area. Dew point around 59 degrees. And a large driver in that forecast is those winds coming out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Of course, as you can see across the state right now, those wind speeds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour, 11 around Boonville and 11 there towards Greenville. So it is going to be some, can we say breezy? I guess breezy is a little bit too strong of a word, but at least bring in some of those wind gusts to cool things off even more and make for much more of a dry forecast. That northerly wind circulates in some of that continental air, and that continental air is drier and cooler. Helps kind of tell that forecast going forward. So as we can see here on Mississippi Live Weather Radar, that's why we're seeing no rainfall in the forecast. That northern wind has dominated our forecast and continues to do so as high pressure and that ridging pattern remain right over the top of us. So whenever we look at things like drought monitor, of course, we expect these to continue to get worse over the next several days. Thursday, that next drought monitor is going to be released, but as of right now, this is where this week's drought monitor is ending. It kind of wraps up on Tuesday and then it releases on Thursday. So we're not really excited about that next drought monitor to come out. Yes, we had a lot of rainfall on Thursday and Friday, but not exactly the case to end the drought monitor or make a significant dent in it. We're hopeful it does, but not expecting it. But into this week and really into early next week, those rain chances remain little to none. So this drought monitor is expected to get even worse. And I do see level 4 drought right along the Tennessee state line. Wouldn't be surprised if that dipped a little bit more south there towards Alcorn County and even maybe as far south as Prentiss County, at least under that level 3 for sure, expected to dip down even more. So not exactly a forecast you're excited about, but we're just warning you that this is something we expect this time of year with those dry conditions. Moving into those burn months, not exactly going to bring a ton of rainfall, and that's why, of course, our percent of normal precipitation is so much lower. Earlier on, out there along Highway 61, we definitely saw that this was a little bit more of a saturated environment, but you can see how that has started to recede just a bit as those dry conditions have pushed in this week. So talking about some areas in specific, we're talking Cleveland about 70%, just about 30% below our normal average over the last 30 days, 25%. They're close to, I forgot the county right here. That might be, I think it's Coahoma County, if I remember correctly. Batesville, 69%, Oxford, 79%. And as we move there towards the Tupelo area, Lee County, 53%. So it just shows you that everywhere in orange is not exactly seeing a saturated forecast. And we'll continue to do so into the oncoming days. So this will just continue to get worse and those oranges will pop up more. So the main effects that we're seeing whenever it comes to our drought conditions, or at least these dry conditions, is burn bans becoming more of a factor in that extended forecast. As of right now, we only have one in North Mississippi. That is Lee County until October 19th. So that was issued September 20th or September 19th, somewhere in that time frame. They did a 1-month burn ban. So hopefully some rainfall happens that takes that away, but honestly not seeing that good of conditions for that to be lifted just yet. But Lee County, one of 2 counties in the entire state, as you can see right here, Jefferson Davis down in the southern part of our state under the burn ban as well. But expect more counties to start popping up in this graphic to start becoming a bit more filled because of those dry conditions across Mississippi, not just North Mississippi, but the entire state. Again, not a recipe for success, but if you need to get some burning done, do it now, unless you're in Lee or Jefferson Davis County. But everywhere else, get it done now because more than likely won't be able to in the oncoming weeks as more of those dry conditions stick around. So Futurecast on your Tuesday evening. As you can see, dry conditions remaining in place. That'll be the big story with our forecast moving forward. But as we zoom back in here on North Mississippi, you can see that tries to circulate in some moisture. And I say that with some hesitancy because none of this has verified so far today. We have not gotten a drop of rainfall, at least not a drop of measurable rainfall, and that'll continue to be the case. So yes, even though it's trying to give us some hope down around Louisville with one of those light showers, even those chances, little to none, and we expect it to be closer to none rather than even that little amount. So 1:30, 2 o'clock on your Wednesday morning, staying on the dry side. Partly cloudy conditions do remain in place as we head into those overnight hours. So be wary of it, but again, it's not going to be producing any rainfall, so we don't really need to be concerned with that forecast. Wednesday morning, already seeing a large part of that cloud cover dissolve on out with some of that sunshine burning it up. So low temperatures, 63 degrees Bruce, 65 New Albany, 65 Tupelo, and 67 around Columbus. Those temperatures climbing because of how much sunshine there will be in the air. So as the day goes on, I mean, it's going to be a toastier forecast towards the afternoon, especially for this time of year. 65 drop off, 82 around lunch, and 88 by that final bell. Plenty of sunshine sticks around all day long, but not even a drop of rainfall as we head into that forecast. So while it is ideal to get things done outside, it's not ideal. I guess it's not ideal to get things done outside because if burn bans are going to be issued, well, of course, that poses a whole other concern. So again, I say burn now, thank me later, because this forecast is not shaping up to be one that allows burning for too much longer. Futurecast for your Wednesday morning, staying on the dry side once again as we head into the rest of our Wednesday. Of course, we expect those conditions to remain in place with very little cloud cover as well. So that sunshine going to be prominent, warming things up and keeping our atmosphere pretty toasty, especially for this time of year. Like I mentioned, well above that 30-year average. Noontime on your Wednesday, maybe some thin clouds up there in the sky, but no rainfall expected once again. These winds already starting to shift from a northerly flow more into the northeasterly as we head into Wednesday afternoon. And as we wrap up our Wednesday, starting to push in more from the east. So starting to shift just a bit as that pattern kind of shifts as well. So as we head into our Wednesday evening, dry conditions once again persisting. A lot of those greens that are popping up, I have not had any reason to believe so far. So I'm not exactly verifying even the smallest of chances. At most, we'll see 10% chance, and that'll be for our sunset hour, even into those overnight hours as well. High temperatures, 90 Houston and Bruce, 90 around Grenada, and 92 towards Greenwood. So that's what we mean, those above average conditions temperature-wise, a big part of our forecast over the next several days. Wednesday evening, at least cooling those temperatures off, but don't believe those greens too much. That's that 10% we're talking about, and a lot of that in the form of some sprinkles. So again, not significant and not going to be anything that's going to make a dent on that drought for sure. 3 a.m. on your Thursday, dry conditions and clear skies in place, and that'll stick around for the start of our Thursday, letting that sun move into the forecast and warm up our atmosphere once again. So Thursday afternoon, it's going to be another toasty day, unfortunately. We just can't move into those full-blown burn months just yet. We're in them, but we're not exactly feeling them. So this will be Wednesday is your October 1st, Thursday, October 2nd, moving into that October season. It's just not feeling like it. So 3 p.m. on your Thursday, still dry and still clear, and those overnight hours expect the same thing to be in place. So if you need rainfall, no. It's just not going to happen. And so make sure to water those plants and make sure to stay hydrated. Hydrate everything. Water your yard, water your plants, water your bushes. Everything you need that needs water or you think it needs water, go ahead and give it water because it does. And it needs to stay hydrated in this very dry season. High temperatures, 84 Hamilton and Red Bay, 87 around Tupelo and Amory, and 89 around Columbus. We are still seeing 90s out there in the Delta with Greenwood, Belzona, Clarksdale, and Tunica. So those toastier conditions still remaining in place. Your Wednesday forecast, 65 degrees around 7, 84 by noon, and 87 there by 5, topping out around 89 degrees though by the mid-afternoon. Plenty of sunshine as the day goes on, so this will be a perfect forecast once again to get out and about. I know we have plenty of our midweek services for church. Well, good to go. 2 thumbs up. Thursday, 87 degrees, 84 by Friday, and this weekend going to be a little bit cooler there in the mid-80s. Low temperatures follow that same trend, falling into the upper 50s, low 60s, so enjoy it. It'll be a comfortable one for a short period of time. Emphasis on short because by the time we get towards Sunday morning, 64 degrees, and by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday, temperatures starting to climb ever so slightly. If this moisture pulls back, we could see the upper 80s return back into the forecast, but if rain chances continue to stick around, not only will the air be cooler, but it will give us decent chances of rainfall, which I know we so desperately need here in North Mississippi. But I know it's the end of the month, and my favorite thing to do at the end of the month is do a month in review. We'll be talking about that coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60. What did we see this September? Find out the latest here in the next minute.
If you're facing a DUI charge, every decision matters. At the law office of Andrew W. Stewart II, we provide a skilled defense to protect your record, rights, and future. Call today or visit drewstewartlaw.com. Your future is worth defending.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Hear that?
That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, here's a look at your September rainfall over the past month. And as you can see, there's very little that we are tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center. You can see 0.14, 14, not tenths, but 0.14 there happening on September 19th, September 22nd, 0.03 of an inch right there, nearly half of an inch on September 24th, and then September 25th, 100th of an inch, adding it to the total. Of course, this is for Tupelo, so there will be some areas that get a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but this is a good consensus on what exactly happened. But you can see a lot of zeros up there, and that has meant it's been a very dry forecast. I want to say that the 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 7th, I know there's not data there. It was actually not measurable data that we got on those days, so National Weather Service just not having data for us, but we can probably put in a few zeros or at least a little rainfall there for those days. Not exactly making too much of an impact, and around this time of year we do expect to get around 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. And doing the math, I'm going to do my math real quick in my head, but I believe this is 0.67 inches on the month with a few additional tenths right there over those days missing, but not 2 to 3. So that's what we mean by those 30-day normal percentages. That's why they're all orange showing up, because we are just well below that normal precip for this time of year. So looking at September high temperatures, our normal highs, of course, a little bit warmer at the start of the month, but as we head into the rest of the month, becomes the mid 80s. So you can kind of see the progression of that fall season and how our expected temperatures are supposed to be a little bit cooler, right? So we're not crazy for wanting cooler weather. We expect it this time of year. Earlier on, 90 degrees was being shown for several days, with that one anomaly there on your Monday, 82 degrees. Definitely wasn't complaining on September 8th, but as we got into the rest of the season, low 90s really remained apparent from Thursday all the way into about, or should I say not Thursday, the 11th, all the way into the 23rd, nearly a 12-day stretch of above average temperatures here in North Mississippi. So it was toasty for sure, and I believe a lot of folks would agree with me on that one, but luckily we got to that little cooler spell right there from Wednesday to Saturday, but warmed back up heading into the end of the month and into the start of our October season. So yes, October starting off on the warmer note once again, but hopefully, and we do see there in the mid part of the mid-October timeframe of some fronts moving in that could cool things off for just a bit. So your park planner for this evening, I've been mentioning getting outside. Well, what better way than heading out to your local park, Ballard Park, Veterans Park, any of which you want to go to, or if you have one that you like yourself, go ahead and head out there. 77 degrees around 8, 72 by 10, and 70 degrees closer to midnight. Hopefully you're not at the park at midnight. I feel like that's not the best time to be out and about. Might just be my opinion, but to each their own. Luckily, clear conditions and dry weather, the big highlight in that forecast, so all the more reason to get out and about and enjoy your Tuesday evening. But what we'll be tracking tonight at 10 is that extended forecast with some of those dry conditions. Latest precipitation outlooks, just what are we expecting with that in the extended forecast? And of course, we'll have your winner of where we are headed to this Friday for our Mississippi Live Weather Game of the Week. We are excited about it. And if you heard my tummy rumble a second ago, excited about the concession stand food. So I know a lot of folks heading out for dinner right now, getting a little bit of an early start on that. So I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Make sure to download that Mississippi Live Weather app to stay as readily available for any weather. I know it's dry right now, but it'll be good preparation for that fall season as those seasons start to change and some of those fronts roll on through. Possibility of severe weather. Of course, we expect that around this time, or at least in the next couple of months. So Mississippi Live Weather app, that'll keep you prepared. And of course, we will have that broadcast on the app at 5, 6, and 10, that live show, and 6:30, 7, and 7:30 on your morning shows with meteorologist Maggie McCauley. But we do have that 24/7 stream access ready to go at the top of the page. You just have to open the app and it's right there. And it gets to circulate through several different factors in Mississippi's weather that kind of help you stay prepared. So preparation, that'll be key, but not this week. This week, just enjoy the great weather we'll have and make sure to have a fantastic evening here in North Mississippi. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Hopefully you guys have a great evening. Until then.
Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well